Hey there everybody! Today we're going to be talking about drawing, more specifically how I do it. You see, this was supposed to be a tutorial video, but I'm really bad at teaching, so instead of showing you how I draw, I'm just going to show you my workflow and my tools and stuff like that. So let's get right into the video. Alright, so starting off, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw out a little sketch of how we want the drawing to turn out. So what I do is I try brainstorming some ideas, stuff I want to do. So for this piece, I want my little character, my little Sona. He doesn't have a name, but he's this little guy with a target-shaped halo on his head. I like him. He's really cool. Like, he's gonna be out here. He's gonna be walking. It's a really basic thumbnail. It looks kind of really crappy, but it's supposed to be. I'm gonna add the details later on. I'm gonna give him his little wingies. They look really cool. I forgot to mention, but the tools I use are basically software. Krita, it's a really good open source free art software that I really like using. It's available on nearly every platform, I think, as long as you're on some sort of PC. And as for my drawing tool, I use a Wacom drawing tablet. It's also really good. Wacom is a very popular brand, it's trustable, all that stuff. So it looks like we're about done with the sketch, I think. We should be able to move on to the next part of the thing, in which I create a new layer. I turn down the opacity of this one, and I'm gonna try making a cleaner looking sketch. So like more defined forms and stuff like that. So starting off, I'm gonna try making this a little cleaner. It occasionally takes a lot of tries, so holding down that Control Z to undo key is really the best idea you can have. His eye is gonna be tilted more, yeah, like this. I'm gonna keep his excited expression, his little happy face. It's gonna bend on the ground. And this one, since it's further away from the camera, is gonna be smaller. There, this looks pretty good. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think his arm is a little too thick. So I think I'm just gonna keep it really thin. Yeah, okay, this looks good enough. Yeah. There we're gonna have his little pen here. Yeah, I'm gonna make the pen a little bit thinner. Draw the little buttons. Gonna erase this line. I don't know why I made it, but I gotta erase it. Yeah, nice. And now I'm gonna do his little halo. Like, the character isn't at an angle where I should be able to see his halo with much clarity. So I'll probably do this. Try to flatten out his little halo. Hey, I'm doing the wings right now. Hopefully I won't have to hit undo many times, because that would be really inconvenient. Come on. Just right. Now I'm just gonna go and erase these little parts. Okay, so I think that's the line art done. I can take the eraser tool and maybe like make some of these sharper, I guess. But that's pretty much it. I think the artwork looks pretty clean so far. And now we're gonna be finally able to move on to my favorite part of the process. That's the coloring. Okay, so on to coloring. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a group layer, and in this I'm gonna put about 3 layers. Yeah, 3 layers works in this. So in the first layer we're gonna have the flat colors. I'm gonna get the paint bucket tool, and I'm gonna pick my character's colors. Yeah, this works pretty well. So for the wings, it's gonna be this really light and vibrant yellow. Maybe I should take a little bit of saturation from it. Yeah, this is nice. And for the pen, I'm gonna grab a bluish thing. So I'm gonna activate this little thingy here. It basically makes it so whenever I do any alterations to the layer, only the parts that's actually in the layer gets altered. So as you can see, it's not going outside the outlines. I'm gonna use this to add some details into his mouth. So I'm gonna take the teeth, make sure it's not pure white because otherwise it looks kind of weird. Take a slightly darker shade of this. Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice, I think. Actually, just make it more subtle. Yeah, I'm gonna take this once again, and I'm gonna carve out little shapes and make it look a little bit more like a tongue, a little bit more like teeth and stuff. Oh wow, actually, I just realized something. I'm stupid. I should have given him a second set of wings. Yeah, hold on. Let me just do that really quick. Okay, so we're back, and now our little character actually has a set of wings. Much, much better. Hit the little thingy here. And bam, the first part of coloring is done. You have the flag colors. So the next part is to actually add shading, add some depth to it. So we're gonna add either a multiply or a burn layer. Multiply is more realistic while burn does more, vibrant shadows. I think I'm going to go with multiply for now. So we're going to pick a bluish color. This one works. That's a color that works. We're gonna click alpha lock because it's going to do the same thing as the other lock, but this time it takes not the layer on, but the layer that's below it. So since we have this layer right here, it's gonna take this layer and it's gonna paint only over this layer. So as you can see, bam, we're gonna cover our entire drawing in the shadow, and now we're gonna start chiseling out all of these shadows once again. Considering that these wings, they are glowy, I think the light source is probably going to be coming from them. Yeah, the shadows are going to be right here since the light source is coming from here. These wings and his light halo are glowy. At least that's what I think they are. So yeah, we're gonna add a lot of light here. Take already all the shadow. I'm gonna try picking a lighter blue, and I'm gonna pick the border around it like this. I'm gonna get the eraser again. I'm gonna erase these little parts. I like to do cell shading, in which like the shadows are really well defined. There's not a lot of like blending and blurriness. It's a style that I'm a lot more comfortable with, but I do occasionally try to render it. Like, let's say I did want to render it. I would go here, I would go to my all brushes, I would look for my blending brush, grab it right here, and bam, and bam. Now, as you can see, it's all nice and blurry. Now, assuming the light is also coming from the halo, which I totally forgot, then we should also be erasing the shadow right here. Yeah, okay, I think this looks good for shading. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it, we're gonna lower the opacity to 40, maybe 20. Yeah, 25. It's looking really good. Now we're gonna go to the lighting part. We have a source of light, which gives us a source of shadow. Now we're gonna go back to the source of light, which we will do using either a color dodge layer or a soft light layer. I'm going to go for a color dodge layer because I really like them. I'll pick maybe a bright color, deep orange. Yeah, this one looks good. Get this really bright yellow here. put right here in the middle. Turn this on and fill it with glow. And we're gonna add a little bit of bounce slide, like this. Lower the opacity, and bam! Maybe I'll even get the blending brush, and I'll blend it once again. See, blend, 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 blend. Yeah, no, this actually looks really neat. I think we did a great job. I'll probably just try doing this right here. Light his mouth up a bit. I added light source, I added shadows, and I used a blending brush to... a blending brush to mix these two together. So, cool. And now we're going to reach the last step, which is going over the line art. So we're gonna be taking this, turning on the lock, really strong source of light. Actually, not. Wait. I'm gonna try finding something that looks good. It's okay if we don't get it in the first try. There's a lot of experimentation when it comes to this. As you can see, I'm trying to incorporate different colors into the line art in order to add even more depth into it. I'm just gonna cover this all real quick. Get this color. I think this is a really nice looking color. And I'm gonna paint it over the drawing pin. I'm gonna darken it a bit, and that is going to be the color for my mouth. Yeah, no, this looks better. I like this color more. Once again, it's all experimentation. Keep trying stuff until you find something that looks good. So yeah, this looks really great, I think. In my sincere opinion, this looks really nice. If I wanted to, I could even add even more details. You know, maybe altering certain stuff in here, maybe make the middle part a bit more glowy. You know, you can do anything in art. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit more detail. Don't mind me. Okay, so now that we're done with the main art piece, the last, for real this time, part of the thing is adding a nice background and just finishing touches. I think I'm pretty much ready to completely make this invisible, but I want to keep it visible for a little bit more because there's still something that we need to use the sketch for. So we're gonna get this. I'm gonna choose a little base color, change it even. Yeah, now this is nice. I like this. I'm gonna add a little shadow. My character is gonna be standing over. And I get this color, make it darker, change the hue a little bit, do this. I'm gonna add a little bit of this thing here, and I'm gonna do the same. Make it darker, change the hue a bit, spread it, fill it in, and now we're finally gonna use this little part of the sketch here, the thing I've been wanting to do. I guess I'm gonna just take this basic color. Actually, I'm gonna create another layer. Do this. Yeah. Do this. Actually, I'm gonna be more gradual about it. Add a few details, some like ink splotches. Make it look really cool. Fill it in again. We can finally delete this. Now I'm gonna turn on alpha lock. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it a bit clearer, I think. So now I'm gonna change the hue. Do this. Do that. Alright, now this is looking great. I'm gonna turn on a few more details. Get a bit of this thing here, maybe a bit of some blobs of color. And lastly, to fully finish this off, I'm just gonna write a little something for the thumbnail. Actually, since everything is in all caps, I'm just gonna fix this real quick. Alright, nice. And that's a fully finished artwork if I've ever seen one. So that's basically it. That's my process. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.